Hey everyone, this week I'm going to be chatting with Christian Cardona from Colombia. Incredible, absolutely inspiring photographer, one of the most liked in our community. And for my Spanish friends, si quieren mirar en español, vamos a poner los links aquí arriba y abajo para que puedan mirar en español también. Gracias. Thanks everyone. Hey Christian, how you doing?
Hi, Trevor. How are you?
That's super good. Hey, man, I'm excited. So for those who are on the YouTube channel, you might have just seen that we actually are posting two videos this week with Christian. One's in Spanish and one's in English. So Christian and I made a deal that if I did a video with him in Spanish, that he would turn around and do it with me in English, even though English isn't your first language. Is that right?
Yeah. I'm going to be very sorry for everyone. Just excuse my Spanglish. But I will do my best.
Christian is probably one of the most inspirational photographers in the MagMod community. He does weddings as well as seniors, and all his work is super incredible. People just absolutely love your photos, Christian. I love how it's very, like, your colors are bold, and I mean, your lighting is just spectacular. So Christian, one thing that's interesting is, you know, in the past, we did a video with you, and you talked a lot about kind of doing these creative light setups and doing some really interesting and creative stuff. And as we were chatting, you said, you know, those things are fun to do, but the photos that I do at every single wedding, the safe shots, the ones that I have to achieve, I have to get good shots for my bride and groom, I really would like to tell people how I do those and my lighting setups for those. And so I love that in this interview with you, we're going to go over some of those safe shots, like the how you set it up for every single one of those safe shots, so that people can then take it to their next wedding and literally apply it, because these are the photographs that we have to get, right?
And these are the photos that, you know, if you don't have it, if you don't nail these photos, the bride and the family are going to kill you. So this is the type of photos that you can mess. This is the point in the wedding when you have to really be more classic, more formal photos.
Yeah.
Most of the photographers said that these are the boring photos, but for me are the most important photos of the night, because as you said when we were talking in Spanish, these are the photos that are gonna put in their walls, in their houses with a little frame.
Yeah.
Because these are like the most important photo for the families. So that's why I give a lot of importance to these type of photos.
I love it. I love it. So Christian, before we jump into these shots, so I do just want to encourage people, go check out, if you want to see some incredible photographs, go check out Christian's work. Christian, tell us where they can find you on your website.
On Instagram, you can find me on Christian Cardona P, Christian Cardona P.
Okay.
And my website is christiancardona.co.
Excellent. We'll make sure to have those links below, as well as have it pop up on the screen so everybody can see it. So you guys, as I mentioned, Christian, I mean, some of the photos, I'm going to pop up a few real quick here to show you just some of the incredible creative work that Christian does. But today, after we've seen some of these incredible photos, today we're going to actually go over some of these safe shots. And so when I say safe, I don't mean boring by any means. I know you, Christian, you had mentioned that some photographers feel like these are kind of like the boring shots, but your work is still absolutely stunning. So let's actually pull up this first photograph of this bride, and tell us about this shot here with her veil kind of flowing behind her.
Okay, this was a very important wedding here in Colombia, in Barranquilla.
Mm-hmm.
She's a TV host from a very important network here. So that was a huge expectation about this wedding. And these photos also are going to be in a magazine, in a social magazine. So I have to do a very, very well done photos for these clients.
Yeah.
So when I stopped doing the getting ready photos, the next thing usually is that we go to a place in the house where all the family is already there waiting for the bride, and then we have to do the family photos, like the bride with their family, with their parents, with their kids, with everyone in the family. You have 50 or 60 people in a small place. You have 10 minutes to do perfect shots that normally you want to do it in a studio or in with big softbox or with the normal perfect condition that you want to do a really well exposed photo, right? But normally you don't have that time, you don't have that equipment, you have to run to the church then, so you don't have the time to set up all that. You have 5 to 7 minutes to do all this and 1 minute to set up everything. So forget about all that. You have to do whatever you can do in the place you have.
Yeah.
So normally what I have to do is to search the best and biggest place in the house to do a small studio. I try to find a place where I can do the best photos I can, this type of photos. So what I do in this photo was that I use normally what I do is I use 2 tripods with my speed lights and a MagSphere in each one. But in this case, normally I try to find white walls, so I can use it also as a softbox or a
kind of bouncing that light. You know?
Yeah. So in this case, if you see in the left side of when she's turning her face and she have the bouquet, I used the speedlight bouncing to the wall, a big wall that was in the left side. Okay. So that works for me as a big softbox. Yeah. And as you see, that the harder light, soft but harder light in this side of the bride in the left side. Okay. I use no type of modifier other than the wall. But in the right side, I use a sphere that help me to do more ambient light, and that was like bouncing all the time.
I love it. And so on this one you had 2 flashes, and then there's a shot as well with the same beautiful bride where she's looking up. And did you actually use 2 flashes on this one as well?
Yeah, it's exactly the same thing. Just in the left one that I told you that I was using the speed light with no modifier. Then I put a sphere, but then the head of the speed light, what's the word for that? I
just rotated it down.
Rotated, and put it like a spotlight to the bride. Okay. Of course, she's waiting for the classic type of photos, like the last one, the last one that we saw. But then I try to do a more creative and more dramatic light. That is the type of light that I like. Yeah. In this photo, the only thing that I changed in this setup was the type of direction of the light. In this case, there was a sphere, and there was a type of spotlight. So I don't change anything in this photo. The only thing and the place you see the same place, everything is the same.
So the position of the lights were still the same, but did you turn the light on camera left? Did you turn it instead of bouncing into the wall? Did you turn it directly towards her with the MagSphere on it?
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly.
I love it. Now,
in a few seconds, I have 2 different photos. So it's type of like you do a small session with the bride. Not all the photos in the same light. Just changing the way you put the modifiers and the flash. You can have different results, and you have more variety of photos at the end for the couple.
It's so important. I think sometimes as photographers, I think we feel like we have to move our clients around in different areas to get different photographs, but oftentimes it's just changing the light. Yeah. And we can create something totally different by adding gels or snoots or grids or different things to our light and modifying it. We can create totally different environments.
Exactly. If you imagine this place, I can put a third flash behind her, and I can change completely the scene. Yeah. Put in a gel. Maybe with a mask. You can do a lot of things, but anyway, I have 5 minutes, so I have to do something very fast. So that's why you have to do the safe ones, and if you have time, then start to be creative.
I love it. Christian, let's go to this photograph that you have. It's a very similar setup of light as the last photograph of the bride, but this one, the bride's dress, her veil is kind of flowing. It looks like to me that you use the same light setup. Is that correct?
It's exactly the same thing. The only thing that is different is that you see behind her, I have a third flash that is bouncing in the dress, but help me to do a little ring light all over her. I love to do this setting, and I love to bring the bridesmaids that help me with the veil and all that. So they also help me to get a little bit more funnier ambient for the bride. She relaxes more when she has her friends at my side.
Love it.
But it's the same setting. If you see the second one that I put like a spotlight, that time is at the left. This time is at the right. But it's exactly the same setting. Once bouncing to the left is just to help me to do a field light. As the principal light that is like a type of a spotlight that is she's seeing like 45 degrees from this side, and the backlight that is just bouncing a light through the veil and the dress.
Love it. Absolutely fantastic. And Christian, now I want to jump over as well because we talked about those safe shots with the bride. So tell me, we have a photograph here with the bride and groom together, and it looks like, is this kind of one of your safe lighting setups as well?
Yeah, exactly the same one of the bride, the first one.
Uh-huh.
But in this time, I use a third flash behind them, so I have a little ring light over them. So what? It's exactly the same situation. I have 5 minutes with the couple. I have to run them to the party, so I only have a few minutes with them. So basically, what I have to do is I find a spot. I don't have the time to search through a lot of locations in the hotel, so I have to find the best one I think can work, and then do the first one is a safe shot, then a bit more dramatic light, and then start to play with the settings. You have the free lights. As you said, we can do a lot of things with that. You can put gels, you can put a grid, you can put both of the flashes in the side, so you have a different type of light. You can do a silhouette. You can do a lot of things. Just moving or changing the modifiers without moving the flashes from the initial points.
Yeah.
So you have a complete session of photos in the same place with only the few minutes that you have.
Yeah.
And again, you have to go safe.
So now this photograph of the couple, though, it looks like the light is coming from above a little bit because you kind of got that butterfly shadow underneath the nose. Was it on a stand, or were you just bouncing it off the ceiling up there?
With the stand, my assistant grabbed the stand and just put it like a small spotlight.
Got it.
But not in a 45 degrees, more like a bulb.
Got it. I love it. It's such an easy setup. So Christian, now one of the things too that I think a lot of people maybe struggle with especially when they're newer photographers, is being able to photograph the party, the dancing. And I think you do this so well. Can you kind of give everyone some tips on how you create your light during the dancing part?
Yeah, the first tip is to, when you get in the room, first identify how you can work with it. Normally, there are two types for me. Normally, there's two types of places. One, the big black empty box.
Those are the worst.
You don't find anything with you can bounce light.
Yeah.
And other type of rooms where you can bounce light. Normally, it's that big black box, and you have a lot of trouble because the only light that you have is the one that you use.
Yeah.
So normally, what I do, if you see the first photo, the one with the couple dancing, that are two small spots in each side.
Yep.
There are two flashes, but that two flashes I always put it the highest point I can, and the direction is to the center of the pista de baile. What's the name of her?
Yeah, the dance floor.
The dance floor.
Uh-huh.
Why? Because if you see that photo in particular, you see that you only have a black room. So if I don't put a light that help me to separate the couple from the background, for example, the head of the groom will be lost.
Yeah.
And all that black spots from the dress is going to be lost. So that few spots and that small ring light help me to give volume to the photo, like more 3D if you can set it that way. And the other light is the one that have my assistant with a stand, and always is searching for the face of the couple.
Got it. It's interesting, Christian, because you've mentioned your assistant with the stand a few times. If you guys want to see how Christian does that, and kind of if you can't visualize it, there's actually a video on YouTube. We'll link to it in the caption below, as well as here in the video, where you can actually see Christian in work at a wedding you did in Miami. Where you can see your assistant holding kind of the monopod, the flash on a monopod, and lighting up the couples. So that'll kind of give you an idea. So Christian, there's a few more dance shots here that I just want to show everybody, but you use pretty much the same lighting on all of these. Is that correct? Yeah,
basically the tip is try to cross the light. Normally you have a very hard light behind the couple, where is the DJ or where is the orchestra or the light for the event. So normally what I try to do is to cross the light. A principal light that will go always with my assistant. Sometimes I grab it with my hand, as you see in the video.
Yeah.
But always I want to cross. So I have some type of light that help me to do that rim light and an ambient light, and the one that pop up the subject from the photo.
You know, it's amazing. I tell photographers all the time that what makes the difference between a good photo and a great photo oftentimes is that little extra rim light behind them. Putting a rim light and really carving out the hair, the body, whether or not you can see it or not. Sometimes, like you said, in the dance photos, we put it up there where you can actually see it. I like to call that stadium light because I imagine the stadium lights, from a football game or whatever. Exactly. But sometimes we can see it, sometimes we don't. Kind of like you had that shot of that one bride with the veil flowing, and it looked like the wind was catching it or something. Like that shot, you can't see the rim light behind her, but it's there because it helps carve her out of that shot. I think it's so important to have those rim lights, and I'm so glad you mentioned that during these dance photos to always have something behind them, kind of that cross light. One in front, one behind. And then being able to light them up.
And it's one of the most simple and classic setups, but it always works.
Yeah.
When you cross the lights, always works.
It does.
So in weddings, it's perfect for this type of photos.
And I've really appreciated this call with you, Christian, because oftentimes as wedding photographers, we think that, we have an hour to do photos. And bless your heart, being in South America or Central America, South America, I guess, is Colombia.
South America.
But I've shot 3 weddings in Panama, in Central America, and all of them, I think I had maybe a maximum of 5 minutes with a couple. In fact, one time the wedding coordinator, she looked at her watch and she said, "You got 5 minutes." And I said, "Okay, make it fast." And she goes, "No, you have 5 minutes with the couple."
Really?
And I was like, "Oh my goodness, this is crazy." So I get it.
That's my life. There's all weekends is the same thing.
Yeah. I get it. And like you said, it's important to get those safe shots, and then as quick as you can, change up your lighting. And that's what's so great about MagMod is making it so fast and easy. But to change up your lighting and be able to give you something different, even staying in the same spot with a couple. Yeah.
As I told you, normally when you show the older people in the family, the creative ones, they say that's fine, that colors and all that. Show me the good photos.
Yeah.
They think they're errors sometimes.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. It's so important that we know how to nail those and get them done correct.
Yeah,
so
they're more for the couple.
Yeah. This has been fantastic, Christian. Hey, I really appreciate it. Again, I just want to mention for those who native tongue is Spanish, be sure to check out Christian's version of this same video, but in Spanish.
Yeah, sorry for my Spanglish.
No, you did fantastic. I also just want to encourage all of you guys who are watching, be sure if you enjoy these videos and you get inspired by them, be sure to hit the subscribe button below, hit the little bell notification. That way you get notified when we actually do publish these. Every single week we're putting out incredible videos with photographers around the world like Christian and others. So be sure to join us every week. So Christian, thank you so much for taking the time to do this, not only in English, but also in Spanish. So
thank you for doing it in Spanish too. Thanks so much.
Well, if anyone wants to laugh, be sure to go watch it in Spanish and you'll get to hear me laugh. Or you'll get to hear me speak Spanish, which will make you laugh.
It's fair.
So, hey, Christian, you rock, man. I appreciate you, and I look forward to seeing more of your work.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, guys. Take care, Christian.